What is the cringiest worst examples of butt kissing you've seen at work? I had a coworker that went to the boss's apartment to massage his feet. Other receptionist at my work is a huge ass kisser. Calls herself head receptionist when she's really just a part-timer that doesn't do a job right. Will constantly have meetings with the bosses and take credit for things other people do. Most recent example is when a client brought us donuts and left them at the front desk. I was in a room but heard the convo between the client and her about the donuts being a gift. Then heard her walk to the back and announce to our boss that she receptionist ordered them donuts because they work so hard. My coworker was an asshole. She was rude to anyone she viewed as beneath her in her imaginary org chart and would kiss the ass of anyone above her. She was rude and condescending to me literally every day. It was the most petty shit. She made fun of the lab coat I wore, the jokes I made, the food I ate, my alma mater, just about anything. You could tell she had been bullied as a kid and was never a bully because she had no tact or wit and her insults were weak and cringy. Well, one day, she has the audacity to say that I wasn't a real chemist because I don't work with solvents or do extractions, and I took it personally. She said that I wouldn't be able to perform on SOP pesticides, which was dumb because SOPs are literally standard operating procedures and are written to reproducible by anyone, within reason. After 6 months of putting up with her shit, I had enough and went to her. My coworker was reprimanded. The owner of my lab told me that he considered her actions a far-able offence, but we were in the middle of an audit which she was handling, so he kept her on. At the Christmas party, my boss explicitly referenced, though not by name, how saying your coworker in Not a Chemist is bad, and that we all should be proud of traits that make us great and work on traits that make us bad. She left right after the speech. A few weeks later was the owner's birth. We have a tradition where a card is put in the breakroom and everyone can give best wishes to the birthday person and sign. My coworker wrote the most long-winded message to the owner about being so happy to work at the company and be mentored by him. It got really sad. She said that she looked forward to working with him for years to come. He fired her that Friday. A colleague tried to feed the manager during lunch, saying, "Just one more bite, please." Both female, but still was so embarrassed to witness that. As a blackjack/craps dealer in a casino, I had a floor manager that hated me. The feeling was very mutual. One day I was secret shopped and received a 100% with some outstanding personalized comments on it. The higher-ups were so impressed that the head of table games came down from on high to give me 50.0 worth of cash gift cards, unheard of. We normally get 5.0 Buffett voucher. That the head of table, this all took place in front of the floor who hated me. This reaches in his pocket and hands me a card for an entry into a drawing for a 10.0 credit and tells me I did good. Fucker used my 15 seconds of fame to make himself look good to the debt head. It kinda backfired when I handed it back and said no thanks. I know you don't mean it. Debt head hauled my ass upstairs and asked what I meant. I didn't need the job, so I unloaded every single instance of harassment, sexual harassment, or investigations, and backed the war. Covered it while he was suspended, and he was not invited back when they reopened. Happened recently at work. One particular co-worker is almost insufferable with his behaviour. Constant trumpet blowing with his lackluster work, endless comments about how much money he has, degrading other team members to get some kind of moral high ground and get in good graces with management. What's more cringe is his posts and interactions on the team member WhatsApp group, really fake or cheesy crap that definitely is not his character. Basically everything that he does involves trying to shit on someone to look better at his job. Anyway, he thought he was top shit after one of the managers recently left and applied to take the advertised duty manager role. He was shut down almost immediately, and apparently one of the night managers straight up told him that they did not want him to work nights due to nobody wanting to work with him. Part of my job is delivering children's books to some agencies to hand out. 1 month our executive director didn't like the book that came in. There were a couple lines she felt were inappropriate. She asked me not to deliver them, and she would order new books. A coworker of mine noticed I didn't deliver them and took it upon herself to do it. The executive director doesn't care for her, and she was trying to get on her good side. She thought she could make herself look good by making me look bad. I thought she went to lunch, had no idea she was out there trying to do my job. She came back and proudly tells others that she did my job, and maybe now the director will be pleased. She came to my desk and angrily says, in earshot of the director, "I just went and delivered the books that you never delivered. I shouldn't have to do job on top of everything I am already doing for this agency." I just looked at her and said, well, that was dumb. She went to the director next and told her that she delivered the books since she seemed hadn't been done, and asked if there were any other tasks she could do for her. The director was pissed. She was planning on returning those books so she could order different ones. They weren't labelled with our logo yet either, which she would have seen if she checked. It's required that we put our logo on them. The director tore into her for overstepping her boundaries and trying to make me look bad. She tried so hard to kiss ass, and it backfired big time. Or I was praised in front of her for listening. Edited grammar and typos. One of my co-workers knew the branch manager was obsessed with Magic the Gathering, so he pretended to have connections with someone at Wizards where he got free cards. Turns out this guy was actually just buying the cards. One of my other co-workers saw him buying a booster box at a warm-up nearby. He was literally bribing the boss for favours with Magic cards that he paid full price for. The sad thing, work. Everyone knew this dude got preferential treatment. When he fucked things up, manager dude would always cover for him. He got promoted to a position he definitely didn't deserve over someone else who was way more qualified. We even tried letting Bossman know that he was just buying the cards at the warm-up nearby. But he didn't believe us. So, yeah, a few thousand in Magic cards got the Butissa raises worth Fivex. I used to work at a huge investment bank on a trading floor. For context, the building occupied a block in Nick, and the trading floor was the size of the entire footprint of the building, like a 5-minute walk there and back to go from one end of the floor to the other. Hundreds of traders. The managing director had a trading station right in the middle of the floor, and me and another lowly underling had our trading stations way on the edge. Whenever he said anything even remotely amusing, the dude next to me would stand up, cup his hands around his mouth, and unironically fake laugh at top volume. After 6 months, they moved floors, and as far as I know, they never ever spoke. Dude was kissing ass 6 levels above him and making all 300 traders on that floor die inside even faster than they already were. I quit, and I live in a cabin in the woods now. My immediate supervisor and I were doing a job offset at a partner company's lab, like an hour's drive from our company, and we finished our task at like 4:30, and I was like, fuck it, let's end the workday. He insisted on calling the director and inform him we were done working offset, and asked him to officially give us permission to go home a half hour early. The director was like, you called and bothered me to ask this. Just go home. Seriously? You two are out in the field because you're supposed to be able to make decisions like this on your own.